How's it going? Amiibo and Nintendo fans, it's Amiibo Jason here, and it's like a holiday for me today. We have 4 brand new Amiibo in the office right now. They just came out today. They have been on my radar for such a long time, and I finally have them. Of course, you know we're talking about the Champions Amiibo. These are the last 4 Amiibo in the Breath of the Wild series, at least for the time being, and I cannot wait to show you. Out of all of the Amiibo we've seen, I'd say over the past year, I feel like these are the best quality ones yet. And that makes me incredibly excited, especially since I'm such a die-hard Zelda fan. So right here we have Mipha, we have Daruk, we have Urbosa, and we have Revali. Now today's video, we're going to be focusing just on the Amiibo themselves. Later on today, we're going to have a different video showcasing what these do in-game. I'm going to be tapping these things in Breath of the Wild all day long to show you all of the cool gear you get. But without further ado, let's take a look at each of these individually and then we'll get them out of the box. So first and foremost, let's start with Mipha. Mipha is one of my favorite ones so far. This one sold out, I noticed, quicker than any of them, so I believe this one is the fan favorite. One of the coolest Zora Amiibo I've ever seen, and I can't wait to see what custom artists make out of this one. But we'll give you a quick look at the box, front and back. Very nice, very pretty. Nothing really to show off here at the back. We have the Nintendo Switch, Wii U, and 3DS logo. So the Wii U, obviously, is still on here, so that's cool. So there is Mipha. Next is the big boy from the group, and that's Daruk. The one interesting thing about the Daruk Amiibo is the box is significantly bigger than the other ones. Generally, when we see Amiibo in a specific line come out, they have boxes that are the same size. So if you put them on a shelf or right next to each other, well, they're the same. In this case, Daruk, obviously being the big boy he is, has a much bigger packaging. Just an observation, so inbox collectors might have to rearrange the way they want to display this, but besides that, nothing too fancy. Next, we have Revali, my least favorite of them. I'm not saying I don't like Revali. I kind of like his sarcasm and his humor, but overall he was my least favorite of the champions, but I'm still pretty darn happy to add him to my Amiibo collection. And finally, Urbosa, the only humanoid in this group, unless you want to really consider Mipha to be kind of a humanoid, even though she's a Zora. We'll get a look at her face later, and we can kind of compare and contrast how they made her face in comparison to a lot of other humanoid Amiibos we've seen in the past. But there are all 4 Amiibo. Let's start the unboxing process. Let's start with Mipha. Again, Mipha, the fan favorite, so why not get this one out of the box first? Again, we're going to give you guys full rotations and a full zoom-in of each one of these Amiibo. We'll kind of go from there. She has her trident, which is really nice. Let's get a quick zoom-in on her face. Really well done. Honestly, when I first saw this one, I was a little concerned that they were going to have a hard time getting her facial features just right because she's such a tiny Amiibo. But they did a very, very good job. Got the cloth around her. There's some minor details. You see the elephant right on her cloth as well. And the trident is super, super well detailed. So we'll give you guys a quick zoom in of this one. Really, really well made. And out of the 4 champion Amiibo, she's by far the smallest. So the fact they got this much detail on this tiny Amiibo is pretty darn neat. So there is the first one. Mipha, you can stay right there. Let's open Daruk. So Daruk is by far the heaviest Amiibo in this line. He's the biggest Amiibo in this line. You can tell he's quite heavy. I would say he's on par with King Dedede and on the Wedding Bowser that just came out. So I have not weighed my Amiibo. I know I'm a crazy Amiibo collector, but I've yet to go that far. I haven't weighed every single one of them. Maybe one day. Down you go. All right, Daruk. Oh my gosh, this thing is crazy detailed as well. Massive sword. I love his beard, and then one of the cooler features of this one, we'll give you guys a quick zoom in of this, is his mouth is open, so you can actually put something in there. So there's kind of a gaping hole in his mouth. So I like that. There's a big brown chain that surrounds him. His cloth looks fantastic. Everything about this is super well detailed. Even his rock scales on his front and his rock back look super well done. Very well molded. I think this is my favorite so far. I love Daruk in the game. I think he's amazing. He's a great character, and by far, right now at least, he is my favorite in this line of Amiibo. So there you have Daruk. Next up, my least favorite, but I still have respect for my boy Revali. He's a champion after all. He played the game, you know, he redeemed himself a bit after all of his sarcasm. He does have a lot in common with Falco. I'll give you that too. So there is Revali. Bow and arrow, really well done. Probably the least detailed out of all of them. His hair's pretty cool, so he has these 4 braids on the back. Again, you have his piece of cloth in the form of his scarf right here in the front. But everything else is really, really well done. His tail feathers here from the back. You have his leg jewelry. Really well made amiibo. Again, my least favorite of the 4. Probably the least detailed of the 4 as well, but it's still a nice addition to the collection. Finally, the one that I'm probably the most concerned about, only because Nintendo's track record with some humanoid figures in the amiibo franchise, is Urbosa. But, getting her out of the box, I'm already feeling like they did a great job. I've seen images of Urbosa floating around online of the amiibo, and I was super concerned about her face. But, the final retail version, her face looks great. They have the detail on her blue lipstick, they have her headdress, her eyes look great. This is such an improvement over what we've seen in the past with amiibo that are essentially human. So everything is super well detailed. From her stomach, you can pretty much see her abs. They've imprinted those on there. You have her shield here in the back and her sword. Her dress is well detailed. Just a heads up, this is hard plastic, so it's not flexible in any way. But yeah, got a plastic spike here to make sure that she can stand up. But yeah, she looks super well done. I am really relieved about this one. This was the one I was most concerned about, as I said before. And it looks really, really great. But there you have it. All 4 champion amiibo ready and unboxed, and I'm ready to go into Breath of the Wild and tap these in and try to get all of the armor and weapons these guys have to offer. So I hope they make more, but I think this might be the end of the series. And honestly, we only have the Shovel Knight amiibo coming up. Besides that, we're kind of in like a slight amiibo drought right now, so I don't know what I'm going to do with my time while I wait for the Shovel Knight amiibo, but I guess we have a lot of other Nintendo stuff to look forward to too. But there you have it. We'll leave you with some additional shots, and I'll see you guys later. We have another video again coming up where we show you what these do in game. Bye, guys.